Hey everybody, Ryan here. Today we are going to be talking about the queue data structure and how to build a queue data structure in JavaScript without using the array methods. And it seems simple, but it was actually a little bit trickier than I thought it was going to be. Let's talk about really quickly what a queue data structure is. So a queue data structure is basically like a line. It works just like a line or a queue would at a grocery store or an amusement park or something. You get in the back of the line, and then you wait in line, and then the people in front of you go, and then you eventually get to the front of the line, and then you get to go. So we have a few special, software development words for that. And getting into the line would be in queue, and then getting out of the line would be dequeue. It's first in, first out. I really don't like the first in, first out, for last in, last out nomenclature. I think it just adds more confusion to it. Basically, it's a line of stuff. So let's look at the code. And right now, we just have a queue that's just returning a function or an object that has an enqueue function, a dequeue function, and a print function. So let's take a look inside of our enqueue function. In our enqueue function, there's an easy way and a hard way. The easy way, the ES6 way, as there's always with the spread operator, we can just do .queue, make a new array with the new item at the front, but that's the lazy way. Let's do it the hard way. So the hard way would be to make a new array, and then we're going to loop over the queue, and then when we're at the front of the queue, so if I equals 0, we're going to insert into our new array the new item, and then we're going to say continue, so continue with the for loop. So skip this part down here, and then we're going to go through and basically copy the queue into the new array, but everything shifted one side to the right or up the array, if that's how you want to think about it. So basically, that's what I have here in these comments. We have our new array. The new item is index 0. And then we would have A be index 1, 2, 3. So it might be confusing because I'm saying we're shifting it up into the array, and we have this little minus sign here, but we're actually shifting up. We're shifting down in the queue to have it be shifted up in the new array. So if we look at the math here, we have the A. Like in the queue originally, the A is index 0, but now in our new array, we want it to be index 1. So we have to select A from the queue. So if I was 1, say, we're in new array index 1, but we need to grab the item from queue index 0. And so that's why we're doing the -1 here. And then at the end of the loop, once we copy everything in the for loop, we are just assigning the queue to the new array. And so that's how we are doing that we are basically copying the array and then shifting everything over and then reassigning the new array to the queue. For dequeuing, we're actually going to do something pretty similar. So we're going to, first I just have a guard clause here. If the length of the queue is 0, I'm just not even going to bother doing all this stuff. I'm just going to say constant queue is empty and then return. And then we're going to do the same thing. You're going to notice some similar patterns. We're going to say new array. We're going to create a new array. We're going to store our dequeued item from our existing queue, because now we're taking something off of the end of the array. So first we're going to just grab that item, and then we're going to do different stuff to our queue. But for now, we're just going to grab that item and store it in a variable. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the queue.length -1, so that's saying the last thing in the queue. We're going to store it there, and then we're going to copy the existing queue again. So I'm going to say, do a standard for loop. I'm going to say length -1, because length is 1 based and our array indexes are 0 based. So you're going to have to get used to doing that a lot, I guess. And we have our new array. .i is q.i. We're just copying over an array, essentially. We're just making a new copy of the array without the last thing, actually. That's the key here, is that we're copying the array and we're saying less than, not less than or equal to. So it's going to go all the way to the end of the array and then stop right before the last item. So we're copying everything but the last item. That's why we had to store the last item before we did this copy. So now we can reassign the new array to the queue, and we still have that copy that we can return from the dequeue function. So here we're just reassigning it, like I said, and then we're just returning the dequeued item. And then this print function is just a console log. So that's it for here. So let's look at when we run it here. I have a GitHub for this if you guys want to take a look at it. And we will just say node queue.js. I think I spelled that. Queue is such a weird word. It's Q-U, I had to look it up. Q-U-E-U-E. Oh, and I have my debugger enabled because like I said, this was actually I had to do some debugging because it was trickier than I thought it was going to be. So here we go. Okay. So the queue, that's our first print function, is when we print out the empty queue, and then I try to dequeue just to test that guard clause, and it prints out queue is empty. Then we enqueue foo, then we enqueue bar, we have bar and foo, and then we dequeue foo, or I print it, and then I dequeue, and then so we print it out there, and then I print it out again, so we just have bar, and then we dequeue bar, and then we have an empty array again. So you see how it's first in, first out. It's basically we put in foo first, and then so when we dequeue, foo is the first one to go out, even though bar is in there too. All right, so that's it for this demo. I hope it was helpful. You guys can check out the GitHub. If you found it useful, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.